the region in the mid-70s, a lot cooler as we head off towards the coast, and our radar showing not much in terms of wet weather. And this is going to be changing, though, as we head towards our west. Look at all that rain that is on the way. That is coming into our area for later in the day tomorrow into this weekend. And talking about this weekend, warm day today gives way to a lot of rain this weekend. Some areas could be getting up to half a foot of rain. That's tonight on FSU weather.
Monitors out. Monitors flickering.
And you're on.
Hey, good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist David Stoltz. Welcome to Thursday FSU weather. A lot going on in the weather currently across the United States. Everything from mixed wintry precipitation in Kentucky and parts of Virginia to rain showers here in the Panhandle. There's a line of storms heading this direction from the west, but they will fizzle out by the time they get to Tallahassee due to the sun going down and the instability decreasing. We do have a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch of storms coming through the country over the next 8 days. We'll talk about that and some other things that are actually weather related to traffic. There was parts of Interstate 35 in Fort Worth, Texas were shut down this morning after a major pileup of cars due to icy conditions on the road. There were 6 fatalities. We just have them in our prayers and thoughts. And we'll talk more about what's going on here in Tallahassee over the next few days, especially since we have Valentine's Day coming up on Sunday. What's your weather going to be like? Well, unfortunately, it's probably rainy, but we'll talk about that. And so Hayden, what is the weather going to be like for Tallahassee this weekend?
The weather is going to be kind of bad. There's no other way to put it. It doesn't give me joy saying this, but it's going to be quite rainy. Maybe Sunday will turn out a little bit better. Right. So a live look over at Doak Campbell Stadium. Look at that sunset, those colors. Right over, you got some pinks, got some yellows, reflecting awfully a great scene. And it's 72 degrees, partly cloudy. Notice that big 7 out front, very warm for us compared to what we've been to. And then for our temperature almanac today, you can see we are 11 degrees above average for our high. And our low is much 20 degrees above what we normally are, and pretty close to the record in 1932, as a matter of fact. Not quite there, but still impressive nonetheless. So for Quincy through Tallahassee, looks like we're going to be definitely having some warm temperatures. Right now it's 72 degrees, Monticello 74, and going through. So for the current dew points, 64 Tallahassee, 65 in St. Mark's. So also a very moist air mass is in place. And for the radar, nothing coming on for right now. But do note there are some showers coming up towards Bainbridge forming up in the very unstable air mass and warm temperatures. And it looks like we actually had something over on Lake City too outside of our viewing area. So definitely nothing on the radar, but popping up is definitely coming through, especially through the evening. It kind of fades away into the morning. And we'll have some clouds, some low clouds like we've been seeing through Friday. And then by 6 o'clock, we're going to see some pop-up showers, maybe a clap of thunder or lightning or two. And especially towards eastern I-75 areas, we might get some rain. So overall, we definitely have a rain forecast that we cannot take out of the question. But tonight, 63 should hold off until the morning after any rain, 62 in Quincy. Overall, very moist and warm temperatures for morning lows in the lower 60s. Tomorrow's highs, it looks like we're going to be creeping up to 73. Tallahassee, 73, Monticello. And continuing over into our eastern viewing areas. And then do know we do have some rain potential. You see some little thunderstorm icons and some light showers up in St. Mark's, so maybe some higher instability away from the coast. So we cannot rule out a thunder or a lightning strike. But overall, I think just some light rain is going to be a theme for tomorrow. Saturday is going to be a different story. So for tonight, 61 degrees cloudy, some increasing moisture into the area with potential rain for tomorrow. And it looks like we'll be 73 degrees with some pop-up showers and storms with the light east-southeast wind keeping us in a very humid air mass. So for the week ahead, look at Saturday and Sunday, absolute washout, 66, 65, 100% chance of rain. And we're slowly going to keep those rain chances down, but still in the forecast. Now we're going to hand it over to David in his segment.
All right, thanks, Hayden. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be wet this weekend in Tallahassee. But what about the rest of Florida? We're going to take a look at the radar real quick, and here's this line of showers we were talking about. Hayden was talking about moving through the Pensacola area currently. It's going to make its way towards Tallahassee overnight tonight. How much will remain together is to be seen. Maybe just some light showers moving through the area and maybe more towards the north of us or south of us. We'll see. We're going to zoom in here on this. Yep, here's the showers and storms. There's some thunderstorms right there. It looks like the line is weakening up here, seeing less lightning strikes associated with it just north of Pensacola here. These storms out over the Gulf, though, look like they still have a punch with them. Northern part of Florida, the I-10 corridor, looking really good. Just some very light showers moving there west of Jacksonville, and some showers moving there near the Ocala area, Ocala National Forest. And just some showers located in the central part of the state. Looks like they're fizzling out as the sun goes down. They'll lose their the instability and die out. Current temperatures around the state, absolutely on the warm side. It's winter, you ask? Well, it is. 76 in Miami currently, 75 here in Tampa, and Tallahassee, 72. Made it up to almost 80 degrees here today, and those dew points are on the rise. We have increased moisture coming over the state, and so 69 dew point, very getting on the muggy side in Miami, and 71 in Key West. As you move up the state, those dew points drop off a little bit, but it is becoming more muggy out there ahead of the front. And over the next 24 hours, you see we have a storm system. This is our first low pressure system that's going to affect us and give us rain this weekend. And so we're going to keep an eye on this, and it'll make its way up across the panhandle and bring us some showers and storms. We actually could see a substantial amount of rainfall with this storm. You see the totals here mostly across northern Florida, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches. There's a swath actually right there in the panhandle over Tallahassee. We'll have to see if that comes into fruition. Tonight across the state, you see temperatures still on the mild side. Miami 73 degrees, 73 in Key West. And as you move up the state, Orlando 66 and 61 in Gainesville. We can open up the windows for this kind of weather and let some cool air in, save on the electric bill, turning that AC or heat off. And tomorrow across the state, see temperatures getting close to 82 degrees in Orlando. As you move down the state, West Palm Beach 84, 83 there in Miami. And as you get up and closer to Tallahassee, you see a temperature is 66 degrees. And that's because we'll have more cloud cover and some scattered afternoon storms up in the northern part of the state. But now I'm going to hand things off to Riley, who's going to take a look at the national picture.
Thanks, David. And Florida is that one really warm spot on the map right now. Before I head on, I just want you to take a look at this big picture. We have a lot to talk about today across the country. Pretty much you head to any region of the country and we have weather to talk about. So look at this here. We have a low pressure system here bringing a lot of snow to portions of the mid-Atlantic. Not too often you see snow like this in those areas. Another low pressure just along the Gulf Coast here, and that's bringing a lot of wintry precipitation to portions of Texas, where we did have about 6 people die in Dallas-Fort Worth earlier due to a pileup, a car crash, which is not good news there. Along the West Coast, here's another low pressure system, and this is bringing a lot of snow to portions of the Pacific Northwest, even into cities there such as Seattle and Portland, even getting in on some of this. And this high pressure system we see over central portions of the country, that is bringing extreme colds, and we'll get into that as well. So a lot here to talk about on our national radar. And here again, if we take off those pressure systems, we just see how much wet weather exists here in the southeast into the mid-Atlantic, places in the northeast just coming off a quick dumping of snow. I texted my dad earlier today. He had to shovel 3 inches of snow, while here in Tallahassee, I was enjoying that almost 80-degree weather today. And notice we have a lot of rain and wet weather towards our west, moving into places like Mobile, Pensacola, getting in on that heavy rain and some thunderstorms there, even Montgomery and Atlanta dealing with some wet weather. But here in Tallahassee and portions of southern Georgia, that's not much at all in terms of wet weather, and that calls for some sun. You have a lot of rising air there because the sun is really heating the ground there. That's causing some instability. That is helping to fuel some of these storms out towards our west. And that is going to exist the next couple hours, but we're starting to see the sunset. So right now, I wouldn't be worried too much more about some thunderstorms. But regardless, we still do have some non-severe thunderstorms in the forecast for much of the southeast region, where we do have these low levels of instability throughout the region. So do not be surprised if you see a thunderstorm there. Heading a little farther north to portions of the mid-Atlantic there, the Music City of Nashville, towards the east of Nashville. That's where you're really getting in on some wet weather around Knoxville, Johnson City. Head north across the Kentucky border, you're getting in on some freezing rain and wintry mix of precipitation. Even some more snow as you head farther up towards Charleston. And we do have some winter weather advisories and alerts here on our map for today. An ice storm warning where we see a lot of those pinks filling in on the radar. That indicates a lot of freezing precipitation as it hits the ground, glosses over things with ice. You've got to be really careful with that. We saw a lot of bad things happen with the car pile up in Texas today. Do not want to see that same thing happen in areas of Kentucky under this ice storm warning, so do take that seriously. Farther towards the east, we are seeing a winter storm watch. That indicates some snowy weather on the way. Into the Great Lakes, we're very cold across the state of Michigan today. We do have some light snow in portions of Wisconsin. It really starts to come down as you head into Iowa and portions of Waterloo. And out here on the West Coast, this is what I was just talking about before, a lot of heavy snow in portions of the Pacific Northwest, Seattle down through Olympia and St. Helens, getting in on that snow really close to the coast too for what we usually see. And this is going to produce more than a foot of snow, especially in the more mountainous regions there in the Pacific Northwest. Across the country today, we are seeing a lot of cold, frigid air. Looking at that, Minneapolis right now below 0, -1 degrees. In Billings, -12, really cold there. Getting in on some snow in Seattle. And again, if you want to escape that cold, get into a lot of the warm weather, head down to Florida, 76 currently in Miami, 72 in Tallahassee, up towards New England and the Northeast. A little drier after getting in on some wintry precipitation, 26 degrees and sunny in Boston right now. Our dew points are also very dry across much of the region except the southeast, where we're seeing a lot of wet weather. Wind speeds across the region, we're talking about some areas getting on quite a bit. Future radar here in the southeast, not much in terms of relief from wet weather this upcoming weekend. And we're going to have to deal with that, unfortunately, quite a bit. Our rainfall forecast is going to show some areas getting up to half a foot of rain there in the north, in portions of the southeast. We really start to see that fill in here, getting into about half a foot of rain in portions of the Carolinas, especially. So that's a lot of rain to talk about there. Frigid air is incoming here. A lot of cold weather. We're in the well below 0 in the -20s even in some portions here. Tonight's low really reflects that. Bismarck, -22 degrees. A lot of snow on the way for portions of Seattle. Very warm in the southeast, and tomorrow's highs really getting in on some warm weather in the southeast. Everywhere else in the country, fairly cold, David.
You know what? I'm glad to be in Florida. And I'm sure a lot of Floridians are really glad to be in Florida also, because look at this. Currently, temperature is 72 here under partly cloudy skies. You would think it was springtime and not winter with these temperatures, and you have a south wind at 3 miles. And looking at the temperatures today, we started off about 61 degrees, made our way the whole way up to 76, 77, almost to the 80 mark. We hit a high of 77 at 3 p.m. It was absolutely just beautiful outside. I hope everyone had a chance to get out there and really enjoy this afternoon, because it was just really an awesome change over the past week and a half, it seems. Currently, the temperatures are 72 in Quincy, 72 here in Tallahassee, St. Mark 72. The cooler spot right along the water there is Appalachia 67, due to those light southerly winds bringing that cooler air off of the Gulf of Mexico. Dew points are on the rise ahead of the front. 65 in St. Mark, 65 in Monticello and Donaldsonville, 62 for the dew point. And it's going to be a little bit muggy out there as the front approaches, so you'll probably notice a little more humidity. Not picking up on anything currently, except off to our west, where that front is way out here. It'll make its way into the picture eventually in a few hours. radar shows that front moving in. Things fizzle out by the time they get to Tallahassee, but there is more rain on the way for the weekend, unfortunately. And forecast, you'll see that there is going to be a possible swath of 3 to 5 inches of rain. This is through Sunday. This isn't tonight or anything. This is through Sunday. That we could pick up 3 to 5 inches of rain in parts of the Panhandle into central Georgia and up into the Carolinas. And as far as totals go, is 1 to 2.5 inches for parts of western part of the Panhandle and parts of North Florida. We'll have to see if that comes into fruition. Tonight in Tallahassee, it's going to be a very mild night with cloudy skies, low of 61 degrees, and the winds will be calm, so there could be some more fog tonight as we go through the night. Fog could form. And waking up in the morning, if you wake up late at 9 a.m., expect a temperature of 63 degrees. At noon, 69 degrees, and at 3 o'clock, there is a chance of afternoon showers and storms in the forecast for tomorrow. And tomorrow's forecast, 73 degrees for your high with afternoon thunderstorms possible. East-southeast winds at 4 miles per hour. And the extended forecast, unfortunately, is going to be raining this weekend. There's a 100% chance of rain for Saturday and Sunday. And Valentine's Day is on Sunday. And we're looking into next week. That unsettled pattern continues the whole way through Thursday. Now I'm going to pass things off to Riley, who has a look at the winter storms at the Winter Storm Desk.
Yes, David. Well, that's a very rainy look at our 7-day forecast here in Tallahassee. What a lot of people are experiencing across the country right now, though, rather than rain, is going to be that snow and a lot of winter weather. As I alluded to in our national forecast this evening, we have pretty much 3 main winter storm systems that we are tracking across the country. That first is there in the mid-Atlantic. The other one is affecting people in Texas right now, in the south. And the third one is currently out in the Pacific Northwest. And as you can see what we are showing you right now, this is a look at the current radar in the mid-Atlantic. And we see a lot of snow showers in portions of Virginia and Maryland right now. And more of a wintry mix and freezing rain, which is going to produce ice in portions of Kentucky. That is definitely dangerous. If we saw anything today across the country, the dangers of ice mean stay off the road, especially if you are under an ice storm warning, because those ice storm warnings, those are indicating a lot of rain that hits the ground and then freezes upon contact, which is what we call freezing rain there, and that is the most dangerous precipitation if you are driving on the roads. So please, if you're out driving, you want to make sure that you are being very safe and go very slow, because that is very dangerous there. Now, other storms we are talking about this evening, we do have in Texas, again, where I just said had unfortunately 6 people die in a pile up there in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro. And that unfortunately did bring quite a bit of not only death but damage to a lot of vehicles on the cars there. And that's what happens when you guys go out on the roads. Just be very safe. Some more ice on the way. Texas on the radar today showing a lot of frozen precipitation, which is not something that the Lone Star State is used to. Farther up towards portions of the Pacific Northwest, we are seeing a storm coming in that in the more mountainous regions of Washington and Oregon states, we will be seeing 12 to 18 inches of snow maximum, especially in the more mountainous regions there. Seattle picking up on quite a bit of snow tonight, usually seeing quite a bit of rain there, but unfortunately for those that don't like to pick up the shovel, we'll be seeing quite a bit of snow in the Seattle area. So a lot of talk about the winter storms, winter precipitation, a lot of cold up in the northern portions of the country, but somewhere getting in on a lot of rain is the southeast. And Hayden, some of this rain is pretty much ridiculous.
Yes, you said it. It really is quite, it's quite crazy how much amounts we have going on. Look at that. London, ice storm warning. Wow, I don't really see that. That is not something you like to see. And then a winter storm watch and a winter storm warning, which is bad, but it's not too uncommon for this time of the year. But I really want to focus on the ice storm warning We saw those conditions in Dallas today. Icy conditions are very dangerous for travel, and it can be very concerning coming into the region. So you can see in the south right now, 72 in Tallahassee is definitely in the warm sector. Look at Miami, 76, Orlando, 79. Definitely a tale of two seasons. Nashville, 33, Jackson, 38. So there's a sharp gradient. We like to play the game, find the cold front, and there it is. So really quite a dynamic system going on here. We had a lot of thunderstorms and lifting right now in New Orleans. And what do you know, 62 dew point right on the gradient, the cold front. So we're really getting some buoyancy coming up along with that. And we got extremely dry air over in Little Rock, 24. So definitely wintry in the northwest of the southeast and very spring-like in the southeast, 64 in Tallahassee. Dew point 67 in Tampa. So definitely conditions on the warm side and the cold side. Definitely tale of two seasons. So anyways, we have a southerly wind coming in from Tampa out of the south 8 miles per hour. And continuing up to Tallahassee, same thing, more moisture getting pumped in. And then, of course, on the backside of this cold front over here, we have north winds, 13 in Shreveport, 9 in New Orleans. So that cool air will be draining down into the area. And you can see on this cold side of the cool front, we have some freezing rain or some wintry precipitation coming up into central parts of Dallas. And then across Pensacola and Louisiana, looks like we have some lightning and some thunderstorms associated with that. Some lighter rain up in the northeast with some snow mixing into Virginia. And then, of course, around Florida, we actually have some sea breeze storms developing. I love that sea breeze coming in. Definitely a Southwest Florida boy. We rely on that for sure, to say the least. Taking a zoom in, Lake Placid, and my great-grandma actually lives there. They got some rain, and now it looks like it's coming up towards Kissimmee and Orlando. So keep an eye out if you're at the parks. You might get some thunderstorms coming in. And then, wow, look at this cell. I mean, this cell is just blowing up. If you're watching us in Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Escambia, Pensacola Beach, you might want to head into your beach condo. It might get a little rough. And then same thing over in Montgomery. Looks like we had a pretty good cell coming through. Actually, it's over Auburn University now. I actually have a friend that graduated from Auburn University. I just know every place now. And then Greenville, we have some showers with some more coming into Augusta. One of our meteorologists loves the golf course in Augusta. Man, it just keeps coming, doesn't it? Anyways, we have some light rain up in Charlotte and Rockingham. So the southeast is soaked with rain. Oh, and now we're going to take a look at Nashville. If you saw it earlier, maybe it has some bits of some freezing rain, freezing sprinkles. Not ice cream sprinkles, but some frozen precipitation. And for our increasing stability, this is like oldie lift in the air. You can see our sea breeze showers really erupted in the high moist conditions. And Tallahassee has some instability earlier, and these thunderstorms are feeding off the instability, propagating eastward, and they can kind of sustain them before we go into the evening hours. This instability will go away, and our storms will go away because of that. And the Storm Prediction Center outlook, despite some instability, it looks like the conditions are quite lining up. We just have some non-severe thunderstorms, but nonetheless, when thunder roars, head indoors. That has not changed regardless of the severity. And for tomorrow, it looks like we also have a marginal risk. A non-severe risk. And then Saturday, if you're heading this weekend, more thunderstorms and rain for Tallahassee, another non-severe risk. Anyways, the future radar is going to show some rain, thunder coming up in this boundary, really riding into Tallahassee for the majority of the southeast, with the waves of low pressure moving along that front and really providing moisture to the region. But anyways, for tonight's lows, most of the air is going to be warm in Tallahassee in the 60s, with some 20s coming behind that cold front. And then Friday, it looks like there'll be a sharp gradient of 70s in North Florida and 50s in the southeast. Now we're going to hand it over to Riley.
Thanks, Hayden. And you said it, the warm weather in Florida. We are experiencing a lot of it. And for a lot of people, that's some good news. We like to put away the winter coat every once in a while, especially down here in Florida. Current conditions, we started the show this evening. We saw a beautiful sunset. Sun has passed below the horizon. We're seeing temperatures go mainly from the mid-70s where we were at earlier down to the low 70s. We'll be cooling down a little bit today, but we started off around 62 degrees earlier this morning as we got some of that daytime heating from the sun, started to make our way up to 70 degrees by noon, mid-70s and upper 70s nearing the 80s by that 2-3 o'clock time frame before that daytime heating started to wane down a little bit. And for our radar this evening, it's showing it's a very nice day out there across the Florida Panhandle, but as we see to our west, there is some rain, and that is a sign of things to come. On the radar, a lot of rain associated with a low pressure system this evening in a lot of Alabama into Mississippi. Those reds and even some lightning strikes showing up there on our radar. That's starting to head into places like Pensacola. Panama City will be on the way. And this evening, as we head into the evening, that line of storms will kind of dissipate before it makes its way into the region. But regardless, throughout tonight into the day tomorrow, we will be seeing some wet weather in the area. So you definitely want to bring out that rain umbrella for the day tomorrow. And this rainfall, as we head into the end of the weekend, will be pretty significant here across much of the region and in portions of Tallahassee up through southern Georgia. Look at that. Those reds indicate 3 to 5 inches of rain. So that is significant. And this is through the Sunday evening time frame. So we're talking about a washout this weekend. We'll get into that in just a little bit. For our day tomorrow, look at all these thunderstorm icons on the map. The thunderstorms will be scattered, but you don't be surprised if a storm rolls its way through your area. Our dog walk forecast, the best time to do that for the day tomorrow will be tomorrow morning before the chance for storms does increase as the day goes on into tomorrow night. We really will start to see the rain there. This evening, temperatures will be in the 60s, and for our week ahead, look at that, guys. If there's any time we will be seeing a washout for a weekend in Tallahassee, it will be this weekend. 100% chance of rain for both those days. Into early next week, won't really see us relax from the rainfall until about our Tuesday. So Hayden, a lot in store for this national forecast.
Yes.
Or Tallahassee week ahead, actually.
Yes, Tallahassee has quite a bit coming for us. So Friday, looks like we'll have some rain coming in, some cloudy skies. And then Saturday and Sunday are really going to be our, think of Friday as the appetizer and Saturday and Sunday as our entree. It is going to be some very heavy precipitation. Looks like we saw our rain outlook, maybe 3 to 5 inches by this Sunday, and maybe some more in heavy spots. So just definitely keep an eye out for any flash flooding. Tallahassee is very hilly, so watch out for the low-lying areas, of course. You kind of know the areas. So now if you can follow us on Twitter, send us pictures on Instagram of anything that's coming towards. Facebook, of course, that's what we stream on. We love using Facebook. And, of course, follow us live on YouTube to track all these storms coming to our area. Say weather alert. And lastly, we love those pictures again at Instagram. FSU weather, show us anything. Make sure you stay safe out there. But thank you for watching the show. It was a busy one. And take care, Tallahassee.